This not just girl talk.
It's talk for the people.
You got two women,
Two voices,
one sound.
and that's the truth.
You here with the married Dawn,
And the selective Dawn.
and we here to call a spade a motherfucking spade. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get to it.
Hey. I said hey.
Hey. Hey, friend.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm here. You finished? You doing a lot of...
Oh, it's a lot going on.
You set up over
I
there?
can't get my day together.
Oh, it's been one of them days?
It's been one of them days.
Like a Monday 2.0?
Shit, my Monday was good.
Oh, okay.
But today I just can't get it together. But we here. We back for another week.
Okay.
My hair's still not done.
What?
How you feeling? A little bit better?
I'm here.
You look a lot better.
So I look bad last time you saw me?
You look like you was coming down with something.
Yeah. You know, the
That
flu
shows
gods got me.
The who?
The flu gods got me.
Oh, that's what it is?
Was.
The regular flu?
Well, if it was a corona, I'd be in a hazmat suit, so we know it's not that.
I would hope you wouldn't be here.
I would.
You would have?
I would not.
Oh.
I would not.
Well, that shows your commitment. Good job. I'm proud of you.
So how was your week? Hey, Rob.
Week was cool.
Okay. Just cool.
Mm-hmm.
You had a couple things happen for you last week?
Mm-hmm. I had the event at Dunbar.
How was that? You want to speak a little bit about that?
It was cool. It was interesting to hear what young people, how they think. I was on the panel with Bacon Bear, Miss Teen DC, another Miss DC, and a couple other people that own businesses. So it was cool. It was real cool.
And your topic was colorism, right?
Colorism and self-worth was the classroom discussion, but we touched a little bit on everything. They kind of got stuck on the topic of the differences between boys and girls. And
now, are we talking just the gender difference between boys and girls, or are we talking about the role of a boy and a girl?
their maturity.
Okay.
Their maturity and how they move about within the world. We touched a little bit on colorism because I had 4 girls in the classroom that were Spanish, and only one of them spoke English.
So how did you convey your message to the other young ladies? Did you have her as a translator?
I did.
Okay.
And apparently she's used to that. And she didn't say she was uncomfortable with it, but she did say she gets tired of that in that environment because it's a majority black school.
All right. So she gets tired of being the translator?
Yes.
Okay.
And she talked about how it's really hard to get along with the black girls at the school, which was interesting. But I could see that because, like, the girls in the classroom were kind of in their own world. First of all, did you know DC schools had metal detectors?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to kind of look at when we were going to Oxford Hill. We didn't have metal detectors per se, but we had a resource officer, and we had Levi to kind of patrol and frisk you down if need be.
But they had to, like, take off their belt and shit.
Yeah.
Like a real TSA pat down.
Remember when I told you that schools mimic jails? And you
Yeah.
couldn't understand what I meant by that? That's a prime example of that.
Yeah. Actually, the guy that put the program together
Hey, Daniela.
was he did his doctorate on that, on the education system. So it was cool overall. It was really cool. Oh shit, my bad. I just noticed I just popped that. I ain't eat all day. It's been that kind of day. It was cool before I started smacking in the mic.
Okay.
You been shut down all week.
Yep.
Ain't seen much of the world.
The much of the world hasn't seen me either. But I kind of like it like that.
But not under these circumstances.
No, but I don't have a problem dropping off the face of the earth. I don't have a problem going MIA. But you had your brunch too, you and Toya.
Yes, we did. We had a boss's brunch. It was a good way to come back from Friday because Friday was crazy. Um, so we
Crazy
set.
in terms of how you all presented on the panel?
No, it was just busy. Let me say that it was a busy day Friday.
Okay.
So it was a good cool down to come up off. So we had brunch at District Soul Food. And we sat around. What you say? Listen, that
How was it?
macaroni and cheese.
No, meaning we didn't get to experience them. They on my list, my shit list.
Oh.
Oh, why?
Oh, you can tell the public.
Yeah.
Hey, DHON. All right.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead,
hear this
RG.
because
You
I
up.
love them.
Test.
Use your outdoor voice.
Okay, so, basically, we went there Valentine's Day. We went there to, after a movie.
This Friday.
Yeah, this past year.
Okay.
To basically find some place to eat. And test. Okay. All right. So to basically find somewhere to eat. You know. So I say, all right, let's go over to 8th Street, whatever. We can find some. You know, it's black. We just saw the photograph, by the way. So we're not gonna get into that.
Photograph.
All right. So
Catch me up because I love them.
we go in, and I think it was what was it, almost 10 o'clock, 10:30, something like that.
Okay.
And like. They said they weren't doing any more specials or something like that. Basically, they was about to shut down to the limited menu.
Okay.
I mean, I'm thinking this is Valentine's Day. You know, people are still celebrating even at 10 o'clock. You know, and so the guy comes over to us. We sit down at the table. He comes over to us and is like, "Yeah, they're about to shut down the main menu or whatever. Y'all have 10 minutes." My wife don't like to be rushed. So we look at each other. She's like, "You want to go?" I said, "I already know what you want to do." So we got up and got ready to go. And the guy turns and is like, "You heard me, right?" "Yeah, we heard you. We good." We walked
This
out.
was the server talking to you?
Yes.
Oh.
So like my deal, customer service, even if you about to shut it down or whatever, we walked in. So no matter how long it takes, it actually was still 20 minutes before that time. So no matter how long it takes us to order, we should be good because we walked in then. You know what I'm saying? Proper customer service. You should never rush your clientele.
I have to disagree, RG.
I work customer service all day. We're told, I don't care if you come in and you already shut them slices down and a person says, can you slice something for me? I really need it. The manager will come over and say, hey, you got to do that. And
So you talking about, it's a couple different things to consider with that, right? So I don't know what time they close on Friday, but
they weren't closing. They were just shutting down the main menu and going to the bar menu.
okay. So what time does the main menu shut down?
I guess it's like 10:30. We walked in like 10:10.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't think, what's wrong with them telling you?
No, they
kitchen staff
told us,
closed.
but the way she didn't like the tone at which basically to say, hurry up and order or else. You know what I'm saying? You could say, you know, oh, y'all just got here on time. You know, the main menu's about to shut down, but it's okay. Take your time and get your order in. He made it seem like, main menu about to shut down. Y'all got 20 minutes, and then like kind of looked around.
So
Body
basically,
language and everything
I
is
feel
everything.
you on that.
so from the beginning, your experience was bad.
Right.
Okay, so it's not what he said, it's how he said it.
How he said it.
Now, was that your first time there?
Yes.
Are you willing to give them another chance?
The way
Because-
the way that we are, the way
And-
that we
and
are.
who is
we?
First,
Yeah.
me and my wife.
Okay.
First impressions is everything.
Okay.
Because we both have been in the service industry for years. So, hey, if you fuck up that first impression,
Could it have been a thing of him having a bad day? And I'm hard on customer service too because I get it. Or maybe he might have been overwhelmed. Now, was it crowded when you went in there?
no.
Oh.
No.
So there, to the naked eye, there was nothing that said or warranted the type of service he gave you.
Right.
Did you stick around to see him give service to anybody else to see if he treated them
Oh,
the
no,
same
no.
way?
No.
So that was it. Once he gave you a 20-minute warning,
That's how we
you were
are.
out.
I've been a manager of grocery stores and departments, everything. And I know the standard of which they tell you how you deal with people, even if you got to tell them something that they may not like. That's not how they do it.
Okay.
So this is my thing. The kitchen staff, they got to pay for that labor, right? So the kitchen staff got to get off at a certain time, or they got to come out the pocket more. I've been to plenty of places, and they said, hey, the full menu is about to shut down in 20 or 30 minutes.
But there's a way to say it.
Now, I agree with
Got
that.
that.
It's definitely a way to say it, and I definitely think you should be polite, especially with you taking my money. And I don't think they are the cheapest place on the planet.
Right.
But I don't think it was anything wrong with the, hey, you come in late, this is what you get. I mean, what do you expect?
Our first time, we really don't know. So the whole deal is, you can convey it, but not convey it as in rushed, especially on
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Just one more
But he
case in
got a
point, because I don't
Valentine to
want
get
to
to.
take over y'all show or do. But basically, I just had a recent situation where my deli department, the guy was shutting down. Somebody came over, asked for a cake. They asked me. I say, hey, I'm produce. That guy right there can help you. The guy goes, no, I'm closed. Go get the manager up front or whatever like that. And I look at him. I say, dude, it's your department. You go up front and handle your customer, because the customer's getting upset. Can you just put some gloves on and go get it? I'm not supposed to be in that department. So eventually I had to go up front just to make sure we don't get a customer complaint. But I went back to hey, nah, that's not how you handle it, man. You supposed to, if you're closed, yes, go up front and get the manager. Why am I going to get the manager? I'm produce. You're deli. So.
I feel you. I think the only thing with that is that a lot of times customers fail to realize in service-based industries that people have lives outside of that. So if I'm supposed to get off at 4:00, you walk in at 3:58, hey, ew.
I'll speak, like I say, I speak from a manager. I'd rather take care of that customer than to have a corporate complaint and they're going to get a bunch of shit free anyway. 10 seconds, help them out. Or you could look like an asshole to the industry. To the company now because you made them look bad.
So why not say something to the waiter? Why didn't you say something to the waiter?
We only had that type of time. We celebrating right now. I got to correct you on Valentine's Day. I'm celebrating with my wife. Come on.
You didn't. It didn't have to be confrontational, but you could have.
No.
I think sometimes if you tell people what they're doing wrong, it puts the ball in their court. Like maybe he didn't know that he was rushing you, or maybe he didn't know that he was giving you an attitude. So, why not just correct? Because it's a small business and it's a small black business, and in that area you're not gonna get a lot of small black businesses. So why not try to help them out?
I've done those things in the past, and most people got attitudes when you try to tell them something. So I'd rather just keep my peace, avoid it, and maybe you'll learn. Maybe you can question and say, man, why'd they leave or whatever? Because technically he's an adult, he should be able to evaluate the situation and say, man, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way or something like that. People
Was he young?
No, he was an older cat. He probably older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, he should have known better.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I was trying to give him a pass, but
Pretty much. Okay. Because we all speak from that, well, why don't we do this and why don't we do that? But when it's on the other foot and you go into an establishment, you expect that customer service. So that's why I don't let that type of stuff pass, because I've seen people say these things, but then in the same store that they work in, I'm a customer. Y'all know y'all supposed to take care of me, right? And act a fool. So
Fair.
right?
Okay. Well, your experience was not the same, so
It
you want to
wasn't.
share.
I think RG, you should give him a chance because that macaroni, and them greens, good God. My experience has always been good. I've been there 3 or 4 times now. It's a small black-owned place. Even with setting up this brunch that we had, when I first called, they were like, okay, text me and I'll send you a confirmation. Well, they didn't send a confirmation. Like 3 or 4 days later, I texted him. He was like, oh, hey, my bad, and sent it right away. So I just think that, whereas I think certain people or some people may have just been like, oh, he ain't text back, that was rude. But it's a small business, I just feel like some people deserve a little bit more grace, especially my people. But I've had a good experience there. I think Sunday we had a really good time. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Okay, you want to take us into the content of the show?
Oh, okay, yeah. Since your voice wrong. All right, me.
You said since my voice what?
It's wrong.
Well, this is kind of growing on me.
It's kind of cute, but people.
That cute shit.
I like it.
It's kind of growing on me.
It's cute.
It's not for everybody, but it's growing on me.
Well, it's for those who will take it. I mean, you don't like it, fuck you.
Well, I wouldn't say fuck you.
I would.
Don't say fuck my parents.
What they say about your voice?
They don't like it.
Why?
Because I sound like a man.
You don't sound like a man.
But
I think it's a little raspy. I think it's it could be a singing voice.
Not today. Not today. See how that works?
A lot of people like raspy. Yeah, see?
And maybe I can make my hair like Macy Gray. That might be something.
She got a whole bush.
I'm letting my hair grow back.
Oh, you are?
I am gonna let my hair grow.
Okay. So how long?
That I don't know. Maybe shoulder length.
What made you decide that?
No reason. I'm just trying something new. And I kind of miss having hair. Kinda. That's a big kinda. We'll see.
In the summertime?
Yeah.
You're hot.
I mean,
saying people want their hair off of them in the heat.
I mean, I'm cool with it. Worst case, I can always go back to the barbershop. But I'm going to let it grow.
Just hair.
Yeah.
That's what I say. All right. Damn. All right. So, last week we talked about maintaining our individuality in this brand, right? Mm-hmm. So, with that, can you hear me smacking?
And we can see you smacking.
I don't care if you see me, but can you hear me? Like, I feel like it was like a loud ghetto pop. Yeah, okay. Can you still hear me? I'm about to swallow right quick. All wrong. Wait, time out. All right.
Yeah, she need a couple minutes.
I do. Listen, I came here literally at 7:27. It's been a long day. All right, so anyway, you ready? We back.
Ready.
We live.
I'm glad you remembered it.
That we live? Mm-hmm. Hey, it is what it is. Okay, so is it possible to maintain your individuality in a group if the purpose of being an individuality is to...
Wait. If the purpose to be
or the definition of being an individual is kind of to push your own goals or to push your own purpose.
Okay, so I might be having a slow moment, but I don't understand the question. Are you saying that in a group?
We're in a group, right?
Because I don't want to misquote you. So, go ahead.
Okay, so we're in a group, right? And so last week, I think it was the Ask the DHON, somebody asked us how we maintain our individuality. Mm-hmm. So with that, is it possible to maintain your you, me, but we're in a group?
I think so, but I think what needs to happen first is there needs to be a common level of respect and integrity. And the respect and the integrity can't be compromised because of, let's say, our work styles are different, our personalities are different. I think that as an individual, you know what you bring to the table, you know what you're capable of doing, and that is what can create a good group dynamic. Mm-hmm. But you have to understand and know your role. What's wrong with you?
This light is bothering me, but go ahead.
That was it for me.
So do you think it's the same in an intimate relationship?
It should be, but what do you think? What do you think about the question you just asked?
Do I think it's possible? Yes, I think it makes it harder when you are in front of people, when you give people room to scrutinize you. But I definitely think it's possible. I think that's the way groups and relationships should work. You don't want everybody all the same.
Okay, so what about the wagering of respect? Like, have you had those times where you're just so emotionally charged that there's a loss of respect in translation, and it's like, damn, you know what, I probably shouldn't have said it that way, or I didn't mean for it to come across that way. And do you feel like you need to go back and ever retract those moments or apologize for those moments?
I think if I'm ever, I think if you ever offend anyone with your, well, shit, let me think about that. So if I offend somebody by being myself, should I apologize? Is that right?
Pretty much it. Or if you're emotionally charged about something. So you
Brian,
said,
can we do something about this light for real? I'm sorry. It is super
It's been a
bright
long day
in my eye.
for you, right?
It has. I'm sorry. It's driving me insane.
With it being a long
headache.
day for you, let's say you come in and you're not maybe as prepared.
Okay.
And you might snap at something I say. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that snap was really warranted for me, or was it warranted because you just had a long day and you know what, this is when and how I'm able to release it?
No, that's not fair.
Have you ever been in a position where the day has just gotten the best of you, or something has gotten the best of you?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
And I think that the people closest to you always get it the worst. It's funny. Me and Frankie was talking about that the other day. I'm sure I have, but I think that the more it can go both ways. Like, it can go with the more I start to realize who I am and like how my reactions are, and you know, my own emotions. Once I get control over that, it makes it a lot easier. Mm-hmm. But I want to say it's natural, but I feel like that's an excuse. You know, that excuse that this is just me. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like that is the same thing as saying it's just an excuse, and it's not really acknowledging you're wrong. But
what if you don't feel like you're wrong?
Well, anytime you snap on somebody, you're wrong. Nobody is. Yeah, you can't take out how you feel on somebody else. That's just not fair. Even if it's about them, I think that it's always a way to approach it.
Yeah.
And be responsible in the way you talk. I mean, that's just back to day one. Treat people like you want to be treated.
Okay. What if you don't know how you want to be treated?
Then you're going to mistreat a lot of people.
That's an honest question.
No,
though.
it is. You're going to mistreat a lot of people.
Because you don't know how to treat yourself? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, yeah. This all wrong.
You all right?
Mm-hmm. I swear. I need a redo. What's that Staples button? No, that's not it, is it? Oh, shit. I thought it was a redo button. I need a redo button. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, with being in a group, so you know how, like, say a lot of music groups, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of them will break up. Most of them will break up, especially the female ones. Mm-hmm. Because of, I guess, somebody pursuing their own thing, their own purpose or their own goals. Mm-hmm. What do you think that says about their loyalty?
Well, I think first you need to be loyal to yourself. And I think that even when you are growing a brand together, everybody has an end goal in mind. Mm-hmm. You know, your end goal might not be my end goal or vice versa. Mm-hmm. And then you might learn that from within this group brand, hey, I might have found another talent that I'm good at. Mm-hmm. That maybe my partner might not be as strong with. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean I have to leave my partner behind, per se. But I can still pursue what I want to do, if it's within means. And I think it's a tactful and it's a respectful way of telling your partner or partners, hey, you know what? This has been a good run for me, or this has been a good run for us, but I'm looking at pursuing other outlets. I don't think it's wrong with having multiple streams of income. I don't think it's anything wrong with displaying multiple talents about yourself. Like, I feel like when you just look to box yourself in, people don't know you outside of that.
RG, can you put our thing back up? Mm-hmm. So you think that was okay, like Omarion leaving, or who else left a big group? Didn't En Vogue break up?
Justin Timberlake left.
Yeah.
And then when it was time to go back, they have had successful tours, except for Omarion. But I think that was a little bit more personal than business.
I think the tour went good. I think they put
it
on. It
stopped abruptly because of
Did it? It didn't finish.
The show came out in Fizz in April, and you know the news broke that they weren't really best friends, that they were doing whatever they were doing.
That was doing the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and then they had the custody battle. So I think it just got a little nasty on a more personal than business level. But he went on to, go back and get his band members. Granted, he wanted a bigger cut.
But what do you think about that?
It's like, what's that movie? The Temptations or something like that? Niggas ain't coming to see you, Otis. They not coming to see you. I mean, if you're putting in the majority of if you're the headliner, somebody has to always headline. There'll always be like a front runner in certain cases, right? There'll be someone who might be good at this and not good at that. And then the other person might be stronger in this, but not be as strong as that. Take the lead in what you're good at taking the lead in. And if we going to eat from this, don't be mad because I might be up front. And I don't need to be mad because you might be up front. If it's cutting a check, and the end goal is, hey, we both got our name out there. People got to put their ego to the side.
Okay, so I don't think they mind. I mean, I think every group knows they need a lead, right? But do you really think the lead deserves more?
If I'm doing more work?
I mean, so in a singing group, you think the lead singer is doing more work? I don't think they're doing any more work. They all doing the same dance steps.
Okay, so in Destiny's Child, you don't think that Beyonce did more work than Kelly, Farrah, Michelle, and the other ones' names?
No, I think they all sang the same amount. Like, while Beyonce was holding a high note, they was in the back doo-wopping too.
But who was doing the performing and the dancing? And
they all were.
So you think that they all were equally yoked?
As far as talent, yeah. I definitely think the other two got slept on just because of how Beyonce looked.
Oh, so now we get into something else.
I mean, we're talking about that specific group. Well, no, I think that in most groups, though. I don't think it's necessarily the talent that gets them more. I think it's the look.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce was more talented than Michelle. Because on a couple of songs, Michelle, she had the best verses. And she can hold a note.
So, now you've been to see Beyonce, right?
Yes.
On average, how much is a Beyonce ticket?
So, I'm not willing to pay any more than $200, so I don't know.
Okay, so we're going to say $200.
Okay.
We're going to say $200 for whatever seats, right? Are you going to pay $200 to go see Michelle?
I'm not.
You just illustrated my point.
But what I'm saying is she's not less talented.
So why you want to go see her?
She ain't got that look. She ain't got that spunk that Beyonce
I ain't paying
got.
$200 to go look at somebody.
But
I'm paying for the overall performance.
I am too. And Michelle is more of a sit-down singer. Beyonce is going to give me a whole show.
But a whole show can be you sitting down. Like, okay, for me, I love Avery Sunshine, right?
Okay.
Avery Sunshine going to sit behind that keyboard from beginning to end. But she's going to give you a hell of a show. A hell of a show. And I'll pay whatever price to go see Avery Sunshine. It doesn't make her less talented because she chooses to sit behind that keyboard. $200 is $200.
I agree. Like I said, I don't think Michelle is any less talented than Beyonce.
She's just not $200 talented.
No. She's not giving me $200 worth of a show.
So what's $200 worth of show? To be able to just dance, sing, jump around the stage, have a whole performance. What you say, RG? Her brand?
Michelle's brand is not as big as Beyonce, so that's what commands the $200.
But why? Why isn't her brand as big?
Because people like you.
Because she hasn't worked to it.
Who don't want to do it?
She hasn't worked to it. What has Michelle done to make her brand? If standing alone in her solo career, what did she do to build her brand to the equal Beyonce?
I disagree. I think more people are behind Beyonce because of the look. Because of how Beyonce looks. So her brand is going to get more attention from the record executives because you got the light skin with the long hair and all that. Michelle looks older, right? She looks a bit boring. She's not as curvy as Beyonce. When they got up there to do that BET, it was an award show and they all three had to dance with like somebody out the audience. Michelle tried her fucking best. She just ain't got the swag. She just ain't got what Beyonce got. But that's as far as performance. But vocally, she can hang. Beyonce is not I'm not going to say she's not a singer. She's a singer. But Beyonce can't blow.
So that's the difference between why Beyonce commands $200 and why Michelle doesn't. She can give you a more complete package. The singing, the dancing, everything.
But that's because more people are willing to invest in her.
Why?
The look. I'm telling you, it's the look. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
When I look at groups, musical groups, the lead singer always has a look about them. So Tyrese, Genuine, and Tank all had a group, right? I can't remember the fucking name.
Was it LGT? Something?
Who?
TGT.
Okay, yeah. Who was the most talented out that group? Who do you think was the most talented? Out of all three of them, who do you think is the most talented?
Who was that? You said Tyrese,
Genuine, and Tank. Who you think?
I was gonna say Tyrese.
But then Tyrese
Really?
was, to me, he
I was gonna say
he
Tyrese.
commanded more, but he ain't got the look
So
because of his skill set.
I don't know, nigga. Tank wrote some of them songs. Tank wrote some of them songs. Tank plays the instruments on some of them songs. Tank can outsing all of them.
Okay.
All of them. But for some reason, niggas are behind Tyrese. I don't know if it's the sexy chocolate, the whole
brand.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because he being a dark skinned brother, that's not the look. The brand.
Shit.
It wasn't the look when he came out, the dark skinned dude on the bus singing the Coca-Cola commercial. Come on, man. That was outlier
Black
shit.
was starting to come in around
Okay, well,
there.
I can't speak for ladies, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
I don't think that was a standard back then.
Well, I just think in a group that most of the time, the person that has more of the look that fits society standards will get more attention even though their talent is not. Their talent may be the same as the rest of their members.
And so let me ask you this: so this is a two-parter. Do you think that would cause some resentment? One, and then two, what do you think society standards looks like as opposed to what you and I look like behind this mic?
So, do I think it creates resentment? Yes. Because I think that people in a group will feel like we all going to practice 3 and 4 hours a day. We all on this diet. We all bippity bopping across this fucking stage, and because you light skinned with long hair, you gonna get 10 million more. I don't think that's fair. I don't know if y'all watch Breakfast Club, but Bad Boys, Will Smith and Martin was on there. Mm-hmm. And so apparently, and I don't know how true this is because Charlamagne asked, but they kind of brushed over it. Will Smith got paid 10 million more.
Okay.
Than
Martin
for that movie. Me personally, I think Martin is funnier. I think he's a better actor, but I think as far as that movie goes, Will Smith had that look. So he got paid more for the look because Martin's brand is just as big as Will Smith's brand.
No.
Yes.
No.
You got Big Mama.
He will never outwork Will Smith in the way that Will Smith
I think they
has
tried to
built
play
up
him
his
because he
brand.
got chubby.
Well, how about hold on? That's part of your brand. If you let yourself go and you don't take care of yourself and you look a certain way,
Life happens.
that's your brand.
Life happens. Everybody out here not a size 2. That's like your second part of the question.
So what does society standard look like versus what we look like behind the mic? Because if society standard is long hair, slim waist, fair skin, we already out the box, the both of us.
We are.
Why? Who said that was society standard?
Society.
But who made it that way?
How
though?
many people do you see that look like us
But Lizzo
on
hasn't
TV?
broken the mold.
Who?
Lizzo hasn't broken the mold.
Lizzo broke the mold the
Jill
wrong
Scott
way.
didn't break the mold.
Yeah, but is Jill Scott getting the attention or the backing that she should?
She can.
She can, but
Jill
she
Scott
just,
can come out right now without a new
doesn't-
album and command the same as any other artist. People gonna pay for Jill.
I think that people that recognize talent will pay for Jill. I will pay $200 for Jill. Mm-hmm. But if you put a Jill Scott versus a Beyonce, who you think people gonna flock to? Let's just be real. And Jill, Jill will outblow Beyonce any day.
That's true.
Any day.
But there's a complete package of certain things that Beyonce does, as opposed to Jill. Jill will just stand on stage and out sing you with a voice, but can she dance? Can she put on the big production that Beyonce would do? That matters
to society. But to people that are not here to live by society standards, it doesn't matter.
Is that really a society standard, or are we attracted to people who emit more energy and more force about themselves? That's just a natural thing.
I think it's a society standard. I think
Okay.
that a lot of people now are not individuals. And I think that's the problem. Everybody is going along with what everybody else is doing or saying or how they look. Look at everybody with these ass injections, right? You're doing what everybody doing.
If you saw two flowers, one just white and one vibrant pink, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people would go towards the more colorful thing. That's what I'm saying. So it's there's natural laws that people attract to. That's all. If you see two rocks, one shiny, one dull, you're going to look at that, sparkly. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think I think comparing items to people is a little different. I absolutely see what you're saying, and it makes perfect sense. But I mean, I think that a lot of times people are more popular because of the way they look. A lot of niggas out here cute, but they ain't got no fucking talent. None.
So, you could say we cute, but we don't fit the societal standard.
I am cute.
Does that make us any less marketable?
Our look?
As a whole, right now, if a scout came in here and said, you know what, I like what y'all young ladies doing, but you don't fit the mold, then what?
That's not for me.
Okay.
I'm not about to change who I am for anything.
So what if he said, like, all right, y'all just tone up a little bit. Carmen, you tone your hair down a little bit. You know, Toya and Carmen, I want y'all to lose X amount of pounds and do this and do that. And let's say we do all of that, right? Mm-hmm. And we still don't fit the look. Do we do it for our talent, or did we do it to fit in?
I think it depends. It depends on how extreme they asking us to be. If you asking me to tone up, nigga, I could lose a little bit of weight. And that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's me selling myself short. But I think, like, for me, if I go completely vegan to get on Fox 5, no, I'm selling myself short.
But what if it's just for the role? You know how you have actors who prepare for these roles, right? And they have to either gain a lot of weight or lose a lot of weight or cut their hair off. Like you're fitting into a standard for a check.
I think that's the role that's what they signed up for. They signed up to do whatever or to fit whatever mold somebody asked them to. I didn't sign up for that.
You signed up to be yourself.
I signed up to be me.
Okay. All right. Next one.
What you got on that whole conversation?
I nothing.
Nothing?
Mm-mm.
So are you willing to, or how far are you willing to go to take your brand to the next level?
I would say I would probably just be mindful of my speech. Excuse me. That's pretty much it.
So
like this is me. Mm-hmm. Shave size, blonde hair. Mm-hmm. You know, a little on the thick side sometimes, depending on when you catch me. This is who I am. Mm-hmm. My tattoos, I'm not willing to cover those for anybody. Mm-hmm. I'm not willing to stop getting them. Mm-hmm. It's nothing major or drastic about me that I feel like I need to change to fit in.
Yeah, that you feel like you need to change, but
I'm what's important.
You are what's important, but you're not making the final decisions in.
But I can.
No man's land.
I can.
Okay, but how?
If you have not purchased me, that's a bad word. Mm-hmm. If you have sold me out of my talent, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so you might want me to, like I said, slim up a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's fine. Mm-hmm. If it's for health reasons, but just for media purposes, mm-hmm. I have to be this size. Nah, That is what creating your own lane is about. Mm-hmm. And if I'm in my lane, I don't have to veer off into yours. Mm-hmm. I don't have to do that.
But you have a lot of independent artists that are independent because they're not willing to conform to what the bigger management companies say. And I think AP Fresh may have talked about this a little bit when he was here. Mm-hmm. And it kind of goes into like the hall pass and things like that. So they have kind of missed out on was it AP or was it when we was on the other podcast, Crown 360? I can't remember. But it kind of goes with, are you willing to miss an opportunity? because you are in your own lane.
Yes.
You're not willing to go there and try to, or do you think that you can go there and kind of bring them into your lane? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think you can. I think, like you said, if your package is big enough, yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, my mind went all the way south on that too.
Grow up.
I mean, I can't. It's been a long day.
If your brand is big enough, and what you have to
much
offer,
better.
Nigga, stop playing with me.
No, I'm saying that now. I can think clearly.
If your brand, I want you to eat before you start coming here.
I need
whatever
to.
you need to do. I want you to do that before 7:30.
You're right.
If your brand is big enough and they can see past what maybe they're used to, why wouldn't they want you? Why wouldn't they want a fresh face? Why wouldn't they want fresh talent?
But you got to get your brand to be big enough.
Hey, and sometimes you can't. Look at Master P. So Master P is a good example of what not selling out looks like. They offered him, I want to say like $1 million. And he was like, no, if I can get you to offer me $1 million for this, I can get you to offer me so much more. And as an independent artist, Master P is still eating. Still eating, selling records out of his car, having his own record label, handling his own overhead, because he told Major and the mainstreams, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not conforming to your $1 million.
But is he eating the same way as like a Diddy?
He might be. He might be. I think the biggest problem that we have is people, if you don't see somebody doing something, you assume that it's not happening. Master P eating good. Romeo eating good. You know, that's when you hear Master P, you automatically know who it is. When you hear the No Limit Soldiers, you know who No Limit is. They getting ready to come. They're on tour right now.
Yep.
But they ain't selling out like Bad Boy.
You don't know that.
I do.
How you know?
That they not, because I seen them on Groupon.
What does that mean?
Bad Boy wasn't on Groupon.
So that means because they not on Groupon, you don't think that they get more of their money? He's still an independent artist.
Does who get more of their money?
You don't think that because they're on Groupon, they're still not getting more of their money than Diddy and them?
I'm feeding into the point that you were saying that what we see is it may look like Diddy's eating more.
But you just gave a discount of, them niggas on Groupon.
They are on Groupon.
But that doesn't mean that they're not selling out.
If I see a concert on Groupon, like I seen Sierra on Groupon, and I seen Sierra on Groupon because she couldn't sell out a show.
I thought you was about to say because she couldn't sing.
No, I think she can sing, and I actually think she can dance.
She's definitely a good dancer.
Yeah.
She's an excellent dancer.
You don't think she can sing?
She's in she's in the Janet Jackson realm for me. Soft voice.
Yeah, like I kind of want some range. Like I would not. She's in that Jhené Aiko.
Yeah.
For me.
Okay.
Like I saw Jhené Aiko at the Merriweather, and it was like.
Yeah, she can be a little boring.
A lot of boring. And the most excited I got was when she cussed. I said, okay, you human. Okay, you cussed. That was a little something for me.
All right, well, once again, we ain't get into half the shit that was on the outline. But before we close that out and go into everything else, so what do you think has been the best representation of you and your brands?
My ability to be vulnerable but still maintain my privacy. Like, for as much as I've shared, I'm still a mystery to a lot of people.
Okay. And that's your best, so that's how you like it?
Yeah. I like there to be a little bit of mystery. I like for you to wonder a little bit.
Why do you think that's the best? Because wasn't it last week you told me I need to be more vulnerable or something?
That's just my personal opinion, though. I think that it would make... I don't know, I just think that it would show you in a different light. You know, people have oftentimes, like you said, been in your messages about things you said, racially driven, and if they knew that there was maybe another side to that, maybe they wouldn't feel that way.
Okay.
You know, how people have questioned things you've said about another race. Mm-hmm. If they knew or if they felt like, well, where does that really come from? Maybe they wouldn't feel as if they need to be as hard on you or feel like they can just come at your neck, as you say.
Okay.
Huh?
I'm kind of on the fence about that one.
What? Do you feel like you don't have to explain why you feel that way, or it's just a matter of you know why you feel that way and that's just what it is?
No, I do know why I feel that way, and that is what it is. But I think that people question it because of where I might express it at, because I am putting it on record per se. You know, It's on the internet and they can find it anytime. And you know, I'm still working a 9 to 5, and they like, oh, Toya, you know, that's not smart to be like, you don't like white people, but that's it.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I got for you. What you think is the worst representation you've put out there? Or have you put out a bad?
So I did this gesture on here back in the summer, like when we first started. And when we first switched over from audio to visual. Mm-hmm. And I caught some flack behind it, mainly from, you know, the older people in my life. Mm-hmm. And I just said, like, all right, I won't do it again. But, you know, they didn't catch the joke that went with the gesture. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was poor in taste, but it alluded to, like, oh, that's what you like to do in your spare time? And it's like, no, it's not what I like to do in my spare time, but get it out your mind. It's not what I like to do in my spare time, but it went with what we were talking about. So I think that part went over their head. And I think also they still see me as a young child. So it's hard for them to see me in that light, which is cool. I just tell them, hit the unfriend button. You don't have to watch it.
Okay.
You?
That was good. Me what? I think we should go into the Ask the DHON.
I think we should not. I think we're going to stop doing that. What has been your best representation? No, we're not doing that.
I think my best representation has always been in smaller, more intimate settings.
Okay.
Where I don't feel like all eyes are on me. Like, I think, for example, Sunday was a good representation of me because I got to sit down with some people that are near and dear to my heart, or, you know, some of my closest people, and I got to pour a little bit into them. And I like to do that. Like, I like for my friends to know that there are people outside of whatever's going on around them. Mm-hmm. So that would have to be my best. My worst, I don't know, because I can't think of anything offhand, because you know, like, what you see is what you get. I think when we went into this, we just said we gonna be who we are without the lights and without the microphone. So if I have ever offended anyone or done anything that someone found offensive, you know, I'm sorry, but that's me. I know that I've had an opportunity taken away from me, or, well, not even taken away from me, withdrawn, because of some things I've said behind this mic. But I feel like the best way to reach people is to be honest.
Now, you just said the "that's me" statement.
That's what?
That's me. Like, but you know, earlier in the show, you were like, you know, you feel like that's like an excuse, like a scapegoat.
No. What I mean is, what I say is
what you feel.
What I feel is what I feel. And I said, if I offended anyone, I am sorry. But when I get on this platform and when I do talk, I'm being 100% me, and I can't take that back. You know, a lot of people don't like the language that I use on here, but if you come in my house, you gonna hear the same thing. Like, it's no cut cause. The only time you may not hear this, or even as much, because fuck, I cuss at work. I be going off sometimes, but
at the new job.
Yes, and I told him, hey, I curse a lot, so if you don't like it, please let me know. And I will try to be mindful around you. And nobody minds. So I'm like, fuck, shit, whatever.
Work?
Yes, if I'm frustrated. But I don't deal a lot with the public. You know, I sit in a cube, and it's only 6 of us back there. So I don't have to deal with a lot of people. So
you saying within, like, your immediate team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not out with the customers, you know, fuck, shit, bitch. But, you know, when that door closed, when I walk behind that door, yes, I'm shit, nigga. I gave him all I got today.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's a worse representation of me, but all right. Ask the DHON, which kind of goes into our introduction where RG explained, hey Tracy, that he didn't appreciate the business. Well, the way they conducted business at District. So somebody asked me, they was like, oh, y'all talk a lot about black business. And this is a black owner. She owns a black boutique. And she said, what do you think came first for black businesses? Poor tips, poor service, or asking for the hookup?
So I'm going to say none of those.
Okay. What do you think came first?
I think our inability to stand together in solidarity. Like, we don't know how to bring each other along without fear of you being my competitor. You know, if you start your business, you have your brand, Me Then Eat, right? And let's say you're presented with an opportunity, and they say, oh, you know what, I like your co-host, I like what she's doing. And you say, okay, well, you know, I'm going to bring her on. And then they might find me something I said more favorable. And then more opportunities start rolling in. That might make you a little bit more leery to bring me on, because it's like, damn, I brought you on and now you've surpassed me, but I didn't come back and get you either. I took that opportunity and I ran with it. I think we forget about each other and in fear of, I don't want you to be better than me, so I'm not going to bring you along. And then the second part to that, I would probably have to say asking for the hookup. I can't hook you up and maintain my business. If my price is $100, you paying $100. You don't go into Gucci and ask them to negotiate. Shit, you don't even go to the Asians and ask them to negotiate on the price. When you go sit and you get your nails done, it's $40, whatever it is. But when you go to, let's say, what's your nail bar? Pretty Polish. You crying about a $70 full set. Why you want $70? This is my livelihood. This is all I have. I think we are unreasonable in that aspect. You?
I would have to say asking for the hookup. I agree with what you said at the beginning, but I think that we as a people kind of feel like people owe us a lot of time, and I think that's where that whole asking for a hookup came from. So I think that came first, and then you didn't get that, so then you got the poor tips. But as far as poor service, I think that I have not experienced. I have, but I think once I've not necessarily checked, but once I have addressed the poor service that I have gotten, it's gotten a lot better.
Now, how did you address it?
I just told them, like, you know, I told you about an example where I went to go get my nails done.
Because I was getting ready to say something, but I'm glad I didn't say it.
I went to go get my nails done. She wasn't there, or, you know, she wasn't picking up the phone. Cool, bet. I blocked her. I did. I blocked her, and she called me from another phone.
Excuse me.
She said, hey, you blocked me? And I said, yeah. And she was like, why? And she was like, I'm like, nigga, I took my whole morning, sat here, you ain't called, you ain't pick up the phone, none of that. And so she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And she told me what happened. And then she was like, can you come back? You know, I'll do X, Y, and Z for you. I would have came back without her even offering that, but the fact that she made me feel like my money was worth something.
Okay.
So that's why I came back. But I think in a lot of places, if you can address the situation, that's what I said?
You said it right the first time.
Oh, I did? Okay. So if you address the situation and if you're respectable when you do that, then you'll get good customer service. That's why I asked RG if he thought about or considered addressing the waiter, because I think sometimes people have to be checked. You know, you just never know what's going on in people's head, and I know I've been caught up in my own thoughts and things, and I may have done or said something to people that came off as rude and didn't even realize it until they said it.
Okay. What you got for the hall pass?
All right, the hall pass, real quick. RG, can you scroll down? I want to make sure we get everything on here. But for the hall pass, oh, shit, we ain't never going to get to all this. Okay, so for the hall pass, you got Dwayne Wade and Bootsie, right? Mm-hmm. So this morning, Dwayne Wade was on Good Morning America, and he was talking about, he was mainly on there.
Hold on. You have time to watch these shows in the morning?
I do.
I'm jealous. Go ahead.
He was mainly on there to talk about his documentary, but of course they made the center of his interview about his son or / daughter, whatever you want to call him, her, or his baby. He was talking about, you know, how he accepts his son's transition and how he's learning from his son, and now he will refer to his son as his daughter. He's changing the name to Zaya instead of whatever it was or whatever. It's been a lot of homophobic comments going around in the media lately. Like even I'm big on Breakfast Club. So Pastor Troy was on there 2 weeks ago talking about Lil Nas X Pink.
That's the Old Town Road?
Old Town Road. So he had like this pink, I don't know, like this pink get up on there. He was talking about how, if that's what it takes to win a Grammy, he'll never get one. And then Wendy Williams got in trouble for Thursday. She was talking about Galentines Day, and she was saying to all the gay men that said they would participate in it, they had to like stop clapping because she was saying, y'all don't go through what women go through. You don't have a menstrual every 28 days.
That's true, though.
Y'all need to put down your skirts and heels, and I guess let women have that day for themselves.
Okay.
So, do you think, or are you giving a hall pass to anybody that is, or to people, period, that are out here putting their opinions about that lifestyle out there? Are you giving them passes? Do you think they should censor themselves? What's your opinion?
So we kind of touched on this last season when Kevin Hart was fired from his hosting job at the Oscars. He apologized for some comments he made about the LGBTQ. Am I saying all the letters? Because I don't want to offend anybody.
Yes.
He made some comments and he apologized for them. And his apology wasn't good enough. It wasn't until Ellen, who is, I don't want to say the face of that community, but she's a part of that community. It wasn't until she apologized on his behalf that they even wanted to hear what he had to say.
Oh, I know.
I think that with the D-Wade situation specifically, I think, and this is an unpopular opinion, I think he's living vicariously through his son.
You think he gay in real life?
I think he's living vicariously through his son.
Oh, that's an interesting.
I think that it was very interesting how he looked to shame his mother when he was in that nasty custody battle to get his kids. And he talked about how they were being poorly raised and, she wasn't a good mother and just questioning her mothering skills, right? Well, they say daughters need their mothers. So you laughing, but
I just don't never know what to expect from you sometimes.
What? But in all seriousness, I think at 12 years old, that is a very premature age to make such a permanent decision. At 12 years old, my mother and father were still buying my clothes. They were still clothing me. I was still living under their roof. I can't see me going to my mother and my father saying, Mom and Dad, I want to live as Cameron instead of Carmen. No, it's not happening. Dwayne Wade has had a lot of questionable behavior. He's been seen with polish on his toes, wearing an anklet. Yes, he has.
I didn't say he didn't. I think I remember the nail polish.
His clothing choices have been questionable. I just think that now he has a way to maybe more freely express himself. So I'm not here for that. You make those type of decisions when you don't live under my roof.
What do you feel about Boosie's opinion about... well, Boosie's opinion was the same as yours, but he put it out there on social media. And he was saying, somebody in Dwayne Wade's corner need to tell him the truth. Like, don't let that little boy do that. I
think he's in a culture, and when I say he, I mean Dwayne Wade here. He's in that Hollywood culture where this type of behavior is more acceptable. Or it's not frowned upon as much. I mean, look at Alicia Keys' son. When he wanted to get the rainbow manicure, and then all of a sudden he didn't want it anymore because he felt like he would be shamed. And she was like, we have to let our boys embrace this feminine energy. You 5. Why are you getting a rainbow manicure? I'm not with that. And by the way, I love Boosie.
I do too. Shit.
Next week, don't come on here with them
Starburst.
Starburst.
Crab chips.
Don't come on here with them.
Okay, what you think about Pastor Troy? And even I think Ricky Smiley was talking about how Hollywood is pushing this feminine side onto black males.
And emasculating men. That's another topic for another show, but now we're looking at population control.
You say that's what it is.
It is a form of population control. You know, a lot of people don't want to admit it or identify it, but it is. You know, you are looking to emasculate our young men, our young black boys.
I think Ricky Smiley said that America can't accept men in dresses, black men in dresses over black men with locks.
No, it's the opposite. He said America won't accept a black man with locks, but they accept a black man in a dress.
That's what I said.
You said it the opposite.
Okay, Mom. What you think about Wendy Williams having to give a apology for calling out the gay males and saying they shouldn't be celebrating Galentines Day?
I mean, you don't get a period. You don't. I think Wendy has said a lot of questionable things, and if that's what y'all asking her to apologize for,
She did apologize.
if that's what she apologized for, whatever.
That's a good point. All right, what you got to close? Because RG throwing the clock up.
We got some of the time from his show.
Listen, and matter of fact, somebody was like last week, they was like, I love how you ain't hurry up and get off. I sure the hell ain't. And the only reason I get off is because Brian over there staring me in my face. But what you got to close? Or what do you want to leave the people with for 7 days?
For 7 days?
You should sing it. Sing it.
No. I still can't sing. Like, don't get it twisted, because I sound like
But
this. I still
try.
can't sing. I'm not.
That was a little...
You up?
You ain't leaving with nothing.
I ain't got nothing.
What do I got for the week? Don't be ashamed about how you feel.
Okay.
They don't like it, they don't like it. And
Then
stop
that's-
apologizing. Stop apologizing for being you. Wendy shouldn't have to apologize for how she feel. Pastor Troy shouldn't have to apologize.
Okay.
And
So Snoop shouldn't apologize to Gayle? Real quick.
he did, but
But should he? Real quick, yes or no?
yeah.
So should she apologize to him? Or should she apologize to the world?
Yes.
What she did, though, it just wasn't genuine.
She did?
Yeah, she
did.
apologized.
She did. She
But
did.
people
But
felt
she
like
ain't
it wasn't
addressed-
genuine.
It wasn't.
Okay. Well, we going to touch on that next week.
We out.
Okay.
Music. Let Carmen go ahead and sing us out.
No.
You ain't even tried.
I'm not going to either.
Say, what we say?